Okie dokie. Definitely feeling a little bit better with that son of a gun taken out of the equation. You are still less than ideal, but at least Conjure Ball Lightning comes back to being an option here, a choice. And we might be able to at least take out one of you, so that's nice. Perfect. One ghoul down, just a couple more to go. And it will always be just as scary, I'm sure. But again, this is why we started a bit early today, and we're willing to go to the usual time, because I wanted to, you know, put forth some due diligence and actually taking our time, being cautious, trying to exercise patience, something that I'm never that great at in my own life. You know, I was talking about it a bit on my Wednesday stream, but playing some playtest for Dark and Darker very much got me in the zone of trying to relearn patience. Because I was constantly rushing stuff in that game, and it's definitely a huge part of my struggles in DCSS as well, so just have to, you know, have a little bit of faith here, believe in the power of the cards, and I'm sure we will be rewarded for our efforts. And there we go, not too shabby. One ghoul down, or another ghoul down, I should say. Just fantastic. So that should hopefully leave us with just the one remaining. A bit optimistic, perhaps, but I believe. And we'll just keep blasting you, my friend. And that should be perfect. There we go. Not too shabby. Okie dokie. Swamp 3 just about cleared from the looks of it here. And a couple near-death scenarios, but nothing quite as bad as what we were seeing in Snake 4. So, you know, be grateful for the little pleasures in life and all of that. Let's see how we do here. I probably, again, shouldn't have started with Chain Lightning. We could have just used OTR there to relatively good effect. I always get in the habit of just throwing my main jam at the problem until it disappears. There we go. That's somebody who's resistant to poison, so we definitely want to bring out the big guns, regardless of the noisy manner of their use here. And not too shabby. Can probably just sit here for a hot minute, right? Wait for Airstrike to come back and murder you. Perfect. We're still going for CL. Is that the plan? I don't know if we are. That's Chain Lightning, correct? Yeah, I don't know if Chain Lightning is in the cards for us. We'd have to learn a decent amount of conjurations to make it possible. But we'll see. We'll see how it's going and where we're sitting as we get a bit further along here. In fact, let's take a peek. We're currently just training fighting in unarmed. Unarmed is uncapped at the moment. Fighting is just about at the ceiling that we set for it. I think we said to take it to 9 for now. So what do we wish to learn, or what direction do we want to take here? I'm tempted to go with some translocations, get Manifold Assault online, just because I am such a huge fan. With 14 transmutations, where is Dragon Form currently sitting here? 17%, so that's relatively castable for a transmutation spell for sure. Love to see it. Hey, Colgate. Definitely. Oh, throwing a quick little stretch there. Keep ourselves limber now that we're fully warmed up and in possession of our first rune. It's time to keep the magic going, the ball rolling here. And if we can just poison you up enough, perfect. Again, it's just so nice being back in a spot after spending a while in Snake where we can actually use OTR. Almost makes me regret the path that we took in going there before finishing off this section, but that Tentacle Monstrosity was definitely throwing me for a loop. And who knew that we'd run into a second one almost immediately, so I'm glad with how it all worked out at the end of the day there. Donald, I feel a little sorry for you. Oh, do you know what? Never mind, you're just gonna go your own way, that's cool too. I was kind of hoping to just send multitudes of conjured balls of lightning going, but that's fine. Looking at inferior forms when you already have Stormform running. Alas, Stormform will be amazing until we get to Zot. I wish it weren't so, but such is just the truth of this cruel world we live in. So we'll have to swap off eventually, but don't get me wrong, we will be running Stormform for as long as we possibly can get away with it. We are the one and only Storm Kitty after all. It's in our purview to do so. Cat stretch, now time for some cleaning yoga. It sounds about right. Stormform is great in Zot. Is it though? Most enemies are immune to lightning. Still great in terms of having lightning resistance ourselves, and solid defenses, good evasion is always nice, especially as AC starts to fall off a bit later in the game. But don't know if I would quite so confidently call it great from my perspective, right? In my play style. I definitely find that I start to struggle at a certain point in time, and I really appreciate the extra health from Dragon Form, specifically on cats. Maybe on other characters I wouldn't be quite so quick to change up my strategy, but I definitely appreciate having some more tools at our disposal. A bit more of the resource we call health. And we'll have to see how it goes, right? If we end up instead going for something like Chain Lightning in the future, I don't think we'll have the experience really to branch out too much along the way. Well, let's see, Sifmuna, what have you got for us? Passage of Galubria. One day I need to learn how you work, my friend. I don't know if it'll be today. Electric Brand is flat damage. Electric immunity does not even show in your damage output with Stormform's massive base damage. That is fair enough. Though how does it compare to Dragon Form's massive base damage, Because the brand is one of the selling points on it, in like the Cleave Lightning. But if you can just murder everything with one hit, but again, there are many ways to skin the cat, as they say. An analogy that's not so great, or a metaphor that's not so great when you are the cat, yet still very apt, because that is one of the real beauties of DCSS. Is there are definitely some wrong ways to go about things, but more importantly, there are many right ways to go about it. And so you can always kind of do what you enjoy most and what works best for you. And just have a good time. Definitely try and blast these Fen Striders. Quite a bit of damage coming in at the end of the day there, but we managed to make it through. Fantastic. Let's just hope that we can also retreat back to our stairs. Perfect. Depends from spell power. Yeah, between Dragon Form and Lightning makes sense. And the cat... the cat's the only cat who knows where it's at, indeed. Everybody wants to be up. And alack, only some of us are cut out for it. And I'm hoping that Cat Vonda is one of those, of course. Oh, finally get Lightning Bolt in a spellbook. Little later than we might have otherwise wanted it, but we could still end up bringing it into rotation, at least temporarily here. And let's see, Wand of Flame, not exactly ideal, but not the end of the world. And we'll just continue onwards and upwards to glory. And perfect. Oh, Spectral Swamp Dragon. Why, hello, my friend. Launch more of the usual routine at you, of course. Perfect. We're backed up into a little bit of corner here. That's fine. Everybody wants to be a cat except when trying to find Zot. Yeah, maybe less than ideal, but the challenge that we live for, Gosh darn it. Very contaminated for my miscast. Turns out we could have just stayed in regular form for killing you anyway, so whoopsie daisies, but that's fine. And let's bring it back as we continue on forward here. So there's gonna be some kind of undead vault here. Maybe that's where the rune itself is being kept. And fortunately, we're faster. We're better, faster, stronger, all that good stuff. So we will just run away from our new friends here. This is why sometimes it's nice not to use any of our transmutation forms, because we just can take full advantage of the extra move speed to just get the heck out of dodge from those sons of guns. And perfect. We'll just head upstairs. Take a sip from our drink and think about our, all the decisions that have brought us to this point in life. By which I, of course, mean that it's basically an excuse for me to shut my trap for a moment and actually enjoy the refreshing taste of my beverage here. Okie dokie. This is our life now. We'll just keep rinse and repeat until the end of days. Absolutely fantastic. Besides the potential for murdering ourselves, I'm still very much enjoying Conjure Ball Lightning. It's hard to say how much I'll use it in the future on runs, because most runs don't exactly need it. They're usually, again, a lot of other tools. This one was in a bit of a niche state of being very much stuck until we lucked out in getting Conjure Ball Lightning online just in time for the going to get tough. And so the tough, of course, got going, but it's still just an interesting spell across the board. And let's see. Trying to navigate with all these trees. I find I'm so bad for thinking that there are gaps places until we get there. And turns out there's absolutely no way through. Like there, for example. For whatever reason, my brain saw this as a clear path through. Not even in the slightest. Whoopsie daisies. But let's just do a little bit of a ring around the rosy here. Head right back to our stairs. I mean, if we wanted, we could just hang out at the stairs for these sons of guns. The majority of them will very much struggle with that, seeing as if they can't follow us up and down, so we can kind of just abuse the crap out of the zombies here. But we'll see whether that becomes necessary. Again, it's a bit more tedium than I'm generally looking for in my DCSS. So many bloated husks. Jeez Louise. Well, let's just launch off a few of those. I guess who else is fast? Spriggan is also fast, so I'd be curious about using something like Conjure Ball Lightning on Spriggan. Still has the same downside of not having enough health to reliably tank the hits regardless of resistances, but there's something to be said about this strategy of just walking away from your enemies and constantly barraging them with an endless stream of undulating energy. You really do love to see it, you know? So with that being said, maybe not the worst use case in the world, even for future runs in that regard. Especially since Electricity Brand got nerfed, its meaningless, or its meaningfulness in Stormform is questionable. So did Storm Forms get changed as well? Because, yeah, Lightning Brand on Weapon, reduced the chances of proccing. But is there a chance with the Storm Branded attacks on Storm Form? Again, I'm not that much of a number cruncher myself. I usually just fly by the seat of my pants and see, the effect that it has in action. Okay, this Bone Dragon is going to be a problem, though. What do I do with you, my friend? Airstrike might be our only real recourse, and even that is not doing incredible work. We will just get out of dodge for the moment here. Bone Dragon very monk up, you ask me, yeah. We'll see how she goes here. This autopathing takes us around back to the danger zone. Perfect. But okay, we have a bit more of a runway now. As long as we don't run into too many enemies. Let's just think this through. This is, for all intents and purposes, a large pillar. So let's get dancing, shall we? Unfortunately, being this close to the surface does mean that airstrike will very rarely be dealing full capability damage. So maybe we want to actually come up here a little bit, you know, get our friend wandering just a smidge further from the walls. Okay, we could also head to this big ol' loop-de-loop here, I guess. Again, very much not ideal from an airstrike perspective, but very, very useful for just escaping the clutches of our new friends here, gaining some ground. Yeah, well, I think we'll go all the way down. Real quick like. Rest here until you come out into the open and get blasting. You want Sifmuna? I call for aid. And we'll see how that shakes out. It's pretty dang close at this stage. There we go. Finally taking care of that son of a gun. Less than ideal, maybe, but we managed to get through it. You saw that they're trying to nerf Stormform and Manifold Assault as a thing? Oh yeah? Why is there a Bone Dragon in Swamp? In general, this Swamp ending is questionable at the best of times, because yeah, there's a whole lot of suspicious necromancy going on here. In the place, the home of nature itself. Can you imagine that? And almost running out of magic to deal with that Phantasmal Warrior, but hey, we managed to get there at the end of the day, and we can go back to our usual kiting strat against any of the undead. Fantastic. Oh gosh. And so if Manifold Assault got nerfed, Stormform is still what it is. No, Manass, yes, Manass. And the argument as old as time continues. Manass or not Manass? To Manass or to not Manass? That is the question. And that nerf seems fair. Coming from somebody who just absolutely adores Manifold Assault and would use it on basically any caster if given the opportunity, it's only really fair to see it. Oh geez, this is less than ideal. Let's blink out. Or blink further in. That is cool too. Only 3 magic, hey? Fortunately, Fear's not going to do a lot. You have 58 health, my friend. So yeah, kind of rushed the gun there. I shot off a few conjured ball lightning and really should have just been airstriking this son of a gun and trying to take them down before we got surrounded, but such is life, so here we are. What do we wish to do? I mean, we can kind of take a couple steps, maybe. No real guarantee. That son of a gun is gonna hurt real bad, hit like a truck. We have 7 teleport. So I'm gonna risk potentially dying to the Hydra immediately. We managed to survive for the time being. You still deal too much damage, my friend. Can't let bare hands into Manifold Assault. Definitely not ideal. You need to do a bit of washing up after the fact. But, what do we want to do here? How much damage do you actually deal? 20 and 15, so still a bit more than I care for. Well, let's just see what happens. Might lose a life here. Not the end of the world. Unfortunately, we're not able to blink again quite yet. And these buddies are 50-50 shot to hit us, eh? Minor damage. Not sure what that minor damage would look like. Guess you have less odds of hitting me, so I think I will step into the Spectral Mist here. Risking it all. And how many more turns for the telly takes place? I think a lot, unfortunately. Still quite a few. Menace nerfing, shaking your head. Devs can't let us have fun, can they? Oh yes, all in the name of fairness. And unfortunately, sometimes goes against what we may tell ourselves. See, now you're nothing, my spectral Death Drake friend. Again, I feel like we're pretty much guaranteed to lose a life here, but I was about to say maybe not. There we go, though. And I will immediately pick up this rune, read another teleport, and sayonara. Perfect! Just as we drew it up, exactly how we planned. Love to see it. Really, the death was just, you know, to save us the teleport scroll, gets us right into the rune vault, ninja the crap out of that. Perfect. Exactly how we drew it up. Oh, geez Louise. That's enough Menace innuendos for a stream. Oh, is it ever enough? But you hate the new focus on the Meteor and Rush Cloaca build. You know, Cloacas are just convenient at the end of the day. Just one spot for all life's needs. Near creep boss level, perfect. Then we can drop the innuendos. The council has spoken. Yeah, Carl, you kind of see why they nerfed it and reminded you of Mountain Dwarves and how linear their progression was. Oh, for sure. Again, every caster I'm running these days is a transmuter because going like Dragon Form Manifold Assault is just stupid strong, regardless of what stage in the game. I mean, you can even be still murdering Panlords with that crap in the extended late game, so something to be said for that. But as for this run, where do we wish to go next? We could head to Vaults for some experience, head to Depths for similar level of danger. Probably will go into Vaults and see how that's going. I think we'll try that out. Mountain Dew Dwarves abusing Menace. Oh, you know those Mountain Dew Dwarves, always doing the do. But Luganu buff seems unimpressive so far. Gives Godwrath protection, removed bend space, banish comes online at lower piety, and they added now mutate to banish. I feel like banish coming online at lower piety is very interesting. Because that's one of the big selling points. You just have an insta delete key if you ever are panicked. With some caveats, of course, you need to be worried about anything with high willpower, but it definitely is interesting. Could make a movie out of that, and I think they did boss level. It's called Brokeback Mountain Dew. Ah, yes, my favorite movie from the 2000s, Brokeback Mountain Dew. A little weirdly corporate for my tastes, but, you know, it got the message across. And let's head to that vault entrance, as we were mentioning before. Gotta make a decision somewhere down the line. Seems as good as any at this stage. Can even take another peek into where all of our spells are sitting at the moment and what we might want to train. Again, I'm always looking at you, Dragon Form, but I think Manifold Assault is the big one right now because we can use that with Storm Form to really good effect. And it is very close to castable. So let's actually just get that going right now. The +4 aptitude makes training translocations super convenient and fast. So that should be just lovely. Ooh. I should change off of our, whatchamacallit. Ring of Flight. That's the one that I was going for. Switch off the Ring of Flight, seeing as how it's not going to be quite as necessary here. It's what the plants crave. And where do we wish to go? Losing 3 strength is a bit rough, so probably won't go that route. I guess AC is still as good as any. Protection from cold is very likely to come into play here, as creeping cold is very much a factor in vaults. Fortunately, we have half decent willpower right now. I should have actually done a quick double check on that Vault Sentinel, what the odds of being marked were. But 3 pips of willpower is generally alright for vaults, so I think we should be okay. Do I really have much or many ways to deal with you, my friend? More specifically, do we have ways of dealing with Convokers without letting them get off their namesake? I'm not sure we do. I mean, fortunately, even if they bring friends in, if they're already under the scrutiny of multiple conjured balls of lightning, it's maybe not the end of the world. The Actar Captain is terrifying though. There we go, just take that son of a gun out and run back home to our stairs to rest up real quick. Rinse and repeat. This is our life now, this is our purpose. And I'll be darned if we find ourselves running into too many troubles because of it. At least we're able to tab fight our way through a large number of these fights now. Always love to see that, of course. And perfect. Oh, hold up. Wand of Digging, I do want you. Let's not accidentally pass you by. Ring of Dex can go. And that should be just about perfect. Okie dokes, and now we can let off the deluge here. It's weird having one of those sons of guns with a ranged weapon, the Preservers. I'm used to them being a little more melee focused, so that's potentially less than ideal. I'm also kind of heading off into the unknown here, which is generally not the play in DCSS. So let's rectify that. We'll head right back to our stairs once more here, touch home base, touch safety, and then jump once more into the breach. In fact, this is a decent little runway for us to just use and abuse these balls of lightning and stay in cat form just to keep the extra speed that it gives us. And gotta be real close. There we go. Do enough magic. And the Preserver's dead. Perfect. I was looking for the "you feel more experienced" message because I thought they were still out of sightline, but they managed to walk in just in time for us to witness their death, which is great because you can never trust deaths unless they happen on screen, you know? One of the first rules of fiction. Unless it happens on screen or you see a body, then it's pretty much up in the air whether anything actually happened as expected. Aha! And there is the creeping cold son of a gun themselves. We knew we'd see you here, my friend. Perfect. Not the end of the world. Stormform's spell power is probably still relatively low, yeah, only 34%, so still lots of training to do in that regard. Oh, and we'll definitely read this ID here. Potion of Berserk, I'll probably actually just leave on the floor. I'm not too intent on using those unless absolutely necessary, and even then it seems like it might be less than ideal. And harpies we can just take down the old-fashioned way. Oh, hello my dire elephant friends. We are just going to run and gun here, get some good old kiting action in. Perfect. In fact, we could arguably not go into storm form right away, just so we have the extra speed for anything that is kiteable. Oh, I hate to see that. Actar is pretty much the worst case scenario for us here, specifically the captain, even more so. Oh my gosh, you my friend. Maybe OTR? Right, I need to remember I have OTR, because we're back in prime territory for just such a spell. Don't get me wrong, I'm still loving the Conjure Ball Lightning though, so it's nice to use something a bit less usual for myself at the very least. You know, getting a bit more creative here. Yeah, Drain Form still outperforms Storm Form for you. makes sense. Especially, I think the other kind of caveat that I was thinking about there is that Stormform, right, can't mind burst something that doesn't have a brain. But Stormform leaves our strength as is versus Dragonform gives us a bit of a boost in that department, which is solely needed when you only have 4 strength. But I'm still pretty happy to keep with our current strategy here until it truly proves itself to be untenable. Because again, it's a bit more fun, a bit more interesting. So we'll see how it all goes down.